Hello everybody. Sorry, I'm still putting my I've got really dry lips. I've had a cold and I'm still not very well, so I'm still putting Vaseline on my lips. Welcome to Stampin' by Hannah here on Facebook. I have a slightly different Facebook Live for you today, different from what we have done in previous months. Lots and lots to share with you. So shall we do the sharing bit first? Let's get all the admin stuff out of the way and then we'll get on to the crafting. So it is the 1st of December today, which means brand new month, and Stampin' Up new month time can be a little bit confusing. There's a lot of offers going on. So we've got the end of year sale, which starts today, which is everything from the Christmas catalogue, all the stamps, bundles, designer series papers, loads of stuff in there that is either on sale or retiring, so you need to get your hands on it super quick, otherwise it will disappear and you will not have a chance to, one, make your Christmas cards with it, and two, you won't be able to buy it anymore. So if there's something in particular you really want from that Christmas catalogue, I would go onto my web store. Link is up, I think, on Facebook, down if you're watching this on YouTube. And grab that really soon, because I don't know how long any of that stuff's going to be available. We have because it's 1st of December, we have a new catalogue that comes out in January. This one. And as a demonstrator, I've had the chance to pre-order this morning, so I have got lovely new stamps and goodies coming to me next week. I am very excited. You can do the same by joining Stampin' Up. I did a whole Facebook Live in November about becoming a member of Stampin' Up and my team and what that means. Do check that out if you haven't checked that out already. But if you want to pre-order, you need to become a part of Stampin' Up. And you can add things from this catalogue into your starter kit. Starter kit costs £99 as always. And so that's that one. If you want a copy of the catalogue, if you've shopped with me in the last 12 months, so from January beginning of January this year, there is a copy of this with its name on it that will be coming to you probably towards the end of December, along with the Sale-a-bration book. There are 2 catalogues here, because that's even more exciting, but I will get onto that another time because I don't want to bamboozle you. So if you shop with me from January, a copy of that will be in your mailbox probably end of December. And then the other cool thing we've got this month, and it's not until the 5th, and I'm pulling things off my wall here because this is how I organise myself, is Stamp-a-ration. Now I will pan you down, I think, to share this with you, because it's easier than showing you that, which is backwards. So let's just check the camera angle. And there we go. So this is the, oh, I'll be slipping. I haven't used this setup for a bit. So Stampin' Up released their brand new stamp positioning tool in the new year, and we have had an opportunity to pre-order it already. The second pre-order period starts on the 5th of December. These are so awesome. I cannot wait to get my hands on these. Can you see there are 2 plates to put your stamps on? So you will put your cardstock in it. You'll put your stamps on either one of these 2 plates, and you'll fold it to stamp. So instead of using a clear block, you will use this gadget. This means you've got perfectly positioned stamps every time. If you have a bit where it doesn't stamp properly, you know what, it's okay, you can just stamp it again, it will be in exactly the same place. I will be doing heaps of tutorials on this when I receive mine, hopefully in February. And so if you want one of these, and you want one before June, because this will be in the next annual catalogue in June next year, but you can get your hands on one in March. So the way you do that is by pre-ordering. So if you pre-order starting on the 5th of December, I'm not explaining this very well. My head is completely somewhere else today. I don't know what on earth is going on. I'm going to waffle today. It's going to be one of those days. If you pre-order starting from the 5th of December, it will be delivered to you in March, which is awesome. They are £44. If you want any more information on that, there will be a blog post going up, probably on the 5th of December, all about the fabulous, what on earth it means, what on earth it's going to do for you, and how to get your hands on one. So, shall we get into the main bulk of this video? This is something slightly new and slightly different for me here at Stampin' by Hannah. I have been doing online videos and projects for a long time, but today I thought I would start something brand new, and that is Facebook online card classes. I have a fabulous class for you today. We're making 3 gorgeous cards using the Carols of Christmas stamp set and the card front builder dies. This is a bundle that is retiring, in that it is in that retiring list. So if you want this bundle, it's beautiful. I have not been able to get enough of this stamp set. So if you want these, you need to get your hands on them quickly, because they will go, because they are stunning. So we have got 3 cards. I'll sneaky peek you the cards. They're lovely. We're going to make 3, and the sorry, I've got a tickly cough. The other exciting thing about this video is that you can get hold of the card kits for these. So I've changed up the way I do my code club. Every month I release a brand new code, and in previous months you've been able to get free product for that for shopping with me. I've had to stop that, and there's a lot of reasons that I'm not going to go into why, but part of it is that I'm going to do this class every single month. Every single month we're a different stamp set and different cards, and we're going to make lots of different things. It's going to be lovely, but I want you to be able to make the cards too. So if you shop with me during December and you use the code, which I will give you at the end, you will be able to get the kits to make these cards. Now, I'm not going to include the stamps and the dies, but the actual cardstock pieces, any embellishments, bits of ribbon and that kind of thing that we use, they will be in the kit, and that will be coming to you for free if you use the code. So this is our first card. Now I'm going to change it up a little bit, because I'm not going to do the background stamping, which is lovely, but I just don't fancy doing that today, and that's my prerogative. So I've got a card base in Smoky Slate. I've got a piece of cherry cobbler and a piece of very vanilla, and I'm just going to burnish that because I've not burnished it very well. So there we go. So that's now going to sit flat. So quick, this is going to be a really quick card. I have got cherry cobbler ink. I've also got 2 Stampin' Right markers. I have got 2 stamps out of the set. One that says Deck the Halls, and one that's just this cute little holly leaves and berries. We're just going to get going. So there is some die cutting that's going to happen today, and I will probably bring my big shot onto the camera for some of it, but not all of it, because it's just not really necessary. So that's the sentiment stamped. Now, because we've got holly leaves and berries on the same stamp, I'm going to use my Stampin' Right markers to colour them in. So we're going to use the red first, the cherry cobbler to colour in those berries. And this is one of those great ways that you can get 2-tone stamping. So I'm going to use the old olive to do the leaves, just like so. I use my markers all the time. They have 2 ends. All the Stampin' Right markers are exactly the same. We have a kind of fine tip end, which is great for journaling in your Memories and More albums. And we have a brush tip end, which is great for colouring in, and it's great for colouring your stamp. So we're going to colour with the berries with the cherry cobbler again. And the way I colour my stamps is I use the side of the marker, which allows, stops you damaging the end of the nib of the pen, but it also means that you can colour more at the same time. So stamp that down, and we've got absolutely perfect 2-tone stamping. Isn't that pretty? So I have got some dies out at the same time. There is the die for the leaves, the berries, and then I have 2 square framelets. Now these are from the Layering Squares framelets pack, and I'm going to use the straight edge one for the sentiment and the scalloped edge for the background. So I'm going to quickly run these through my big shot, which I do have off to one side. Like I said, I probably will stick it onto the camera at some point. but it is a big thing to keep moving. Although, obviously, it would be easier, you know, for you guys to see. If I did that, it's one of those, I've got a very small desk, and things aren't, it's not always easy to fit things on, where I just, oh. And then of course I drop the die and everything goes horribly wrong, because that's what happens when you're doing live video. So, let's just get that on there. I'll run these through. All the cards that we are making today are fairly quick and simple. The final card is slightly more complicated, but generally I'm keeping things simple today. So we're going to move all the dies out of the way, and you can see where I've stamped on the original one, and I've used the 2 hanging bauble stamps to create a background. I'm not going to do that today just because it was lovely, and it took a while to do and get everything lined up. So I'm going to keep things simple by not doing that today, but you could quite easily do it. It was stamped tone on tone, smoky slate ink onto smoky slate cardstock. So the layering squares dies layer up really nicely and give you a lovely little scalloped edge. I'm going to stick some fast fuse on the back of there and put that on there like that, and then I'm going to grab my mini dimensionals. These are hidden a little bit in the catalogue. They are in the annual catalogue. They are with the adhesives, but I didn't notice them because they're under the same listing as the standard size ones. And if you're not looking carefully, you will actually miss the fact that there are 2 different item numbers, and one's the full size ones and one's the mini ones. So mini dimensionals on the back of our 2 holly berry things, leaves. Oh, you know, I think if I wasn't live, I'd have stopped filming by now and started again. So there we go. Don't you just love live? There, that is our very first card. Oh, and I can breathe. Oh, right. So, if you're watching this after the live and you have questions, don't forget to leave a comment in the down bar below. I will come back and answer any queries that you have. I understand that I'm doing this in the middle of the day and it's not the most practical time for everybody, but it's one of those things, it has to be practical for me. So I do these when the house is quiet and there's nobody else about and it's literally just me in the house on my own, because that's the way it's easiest for me. So that is our first card, but I am always around and able to answer any questions that you might have. So our second card is this one. Isn't this pretty? Now, I'm going to change this one up a little bit as well, because this background took me forever. There is a cute reindeer stamp in this stamp set, isn't he? He's just gorgeous. And he is heat embossed. Can you see the shine on that? He is heat embossed onto the background of this card. Which just is, it looks lovely, but it took ages. So I'm not going to do that, but I am going to create something very similar with a tone-on-tone effect. So let's get all our stamping out the way first, and then we're going to do some die cutting as well. So I have some dies, I have some ribbons, I have a tickly cough. I also have pulled out 2 of, so for this card I've pulled out 2 kind of corner die pieces from the card front builder dies. I've pulled out 1 circle from the stitched shapes framelets and one of the scallop circles from the layering circles framelets. These 2 die packs, for all of their 2 different die packs, they're dies I use all the time. They're not about to go out of fashion, they're not about to go out of style, they're not about to retire. They're kind of core, really useful dies. And I'm sure that it doesn't matter whether you're using Stampin' Up! Ones or not. I mean, I would use Stampin' Up! Ones because that's all I own. I don't own anything else. But yeah, a good set of circle dies is you're never gonna go too far wrong. So I have got crumb cake ink here for a crumb cake card base. And then I've got a square of cherry cobbler, a piece of garden green, and a piece of whisper white that is going to form our layers. So let's do our stamping of our reindeer first. So I'm just going to grab a piece of scrap paper because we are going to go off. We're going to stamp Mr. Reindeer off the card base. So how well can you see that? That's better. I can't judge. It's quite difficult to see where I am on camera. So there we go. So crumb cake ink and our reindeer stamp, and we're just going to stamp him across the top, and I'm going to kind of keep it quite random, but so he's in rows, but I'm going to kind of randomly stamp him across my card. And I do love this tone on tone look, and you get the same if you use Versamark and white heat embossing, but obviously the heat emboss version has a shine to it, and this is going to be completely matte. Can you see the difference? I don't know which one I prefer because I think they're both pretty. So I'm also then going to take the crumb cake ink. Well, I've got crumb cake open, my whisper white circle, and I've got the sentiment that says peace on earth. And we're just going to ink up that stamp and stamp that straight down in the middle of there. Oh, my tickly cough's getting worse. Right, let me grab my Big Shot because I think it's probably important for this bit. The die cutting of this layer here is what we're going to do next. So, Big Shot in. Oh, itchy nose. And I'm going to take the cherry cobbler square, take that bit first. I've now lost the dies I was using. Oh dear. I do promise these lives will get better. So I'm going to just pop those two dies onto the square just like that. And we're going to run it through our Big Shot. Now my Big Shot plates look messy, but that's fine. They're well loved. Your Big Shot will make some funny noises sometimes when you're running things through it. That's also absolutely fine. My Big Shot's in pretty constant use, and I'm sure you can see that my plates are, yeah, scratched. It is absolutely fine. I don't mind that. They work just as well as they did when they first came out of the packet. So I'm going to run that back through. Just like that. So, can you see where I've literally die cut a frame using those two pieces. And while I've got the Big Shot handy, I'm just going to die cut the sentiment as well. So that's out of the stitched circle, and my piece of garden green cardstock. I'm going to die cut that scallop circle, and then I can put my Big Shot back away for the time being, because it is going to have to come out again for the final card, because the final one, I've got to say, is quite special. So, how is everybody getting on with making their Christmas cards this year? Are you nearly finished? Have you started? Are you like me and you've made a lot but you don't know where they've put them on? I make that many cards literally for work, because that's what I do all day every day, that they get put places around my office and then I can't always find them. So I have to find all my Christmas cards this week so I can write them and send them. I know it sounds silly, but that's just the way things are around here. So, let's just pull this out here. Now, the other thing we need to do is get rid of all of these pieces. Now, you'd have thought that I would have done, you know, prepped one, but I haven't, because I wasn't paying attention. this morning has been a little bit crazy because today is the start of pre-order day and it's the 1st of the month. I've written team emails, I have done my accounts, I have done pre-order stuff, and I have been filming videos all morning. So my voice is starting to go because I have now filmed for about 3 hours today, as well as doing everything else that I've had to do. I love my job though. It is good that I love my job. I don't think I would do it if I didn't love it. You just couldn't. The amount of time, sometimes, just for, yeah. Totally worth it though, absolutely totally worth it. Would not change it for anything. I was at a team training event over the weekend, last weekend. This is how mad I am. This is how completely mad and completely in love with Stampin' Up I am. I drove for 4 hours, spent 5 hours at a training course and drove 4 hours home again. But yeah, just for the love of it. So let's just put this card together. So we've got fast fuse only on that bit of the cardstock. There we go. I'm going to put fast fuse on the back of our sentiment. I do use fast fuse all the time. It is the only I have a snail. It lives on my desk. It comes out occasionally. I think I need a new sheet of dimensionals. Oh dear, my nose is getting awful. I'm getting really sniffly. So this is a pack. There we go. We've got a brand new sheet of dimensionals. I'm going to put 3 on the back of there. And then I want to just run a piece of fuse across the middle there. This is a piece of the burlap ribbon, which is in the annual catalogue and is lovely. And then I've got a piece of this, which is, what do we call it, double stitched ribbon, and it's fabulous. It's got a cross stitch on one side and a line stitch on the other. And I'm just going to add some more fast fuse over the top of there to adhere that onto, and then dimensionals off, and that is it. It's super quick, but I'm sure super quick card. I have no idea how long we've been going for because Facebook doesn't actually tell you what the time is. That's really funny. I'm used to filming with my big camera where I have a constant reminder of how long I've been waffling on for. I don't with Facebook, and I don't actually own a clock in my office either, so I genuinely have no idea how long I've been waffling. So this is our 3rd and final card. Oh, I love this card, I really do. This is a bit of a case, but I can't remember who I cased it off. Case stands for copy and selectively edit, or copy and share everything, depending on who you are and where you live. I think I like copy and selectively edit better. Just because that tends to be what I do. So this is the card. Isn't that pretty? But it's got some fun details, like the glittered trees, which we're going to do. But I have got to admit there is some contraband on this card because I don't have Stampin' Up glitter. And the reason I don't have Stampin' Up glitter is because just before I joined Stampin' Up, I bought a great big pot of glitter. And I've not used that much of it, so it's getting used before I buy any more. I'm sure you're exactly the same. So we've got a card base in Emerald Envy this time. I love this colour. It's got a lovely, fabulous green. Love that. I've got a piece of the Be Merry Designer Series paper. And I've got a piece of Whisper White, and that's all going to layer together. I've then got a scrap of Emerald Envy, a scrap of Whisper White, and I've already pre-stamped and heat embossed the sentiment on a piece of basic black cardstock. The other thing I've got in this kit is a piece of Sizzix permanent adhesive sheet, and that is for our fabulous trees. So let's do the trees first, shall we? Oh, we are going to, these are great, these sheets, but all you need to do, so we're going to peel off and stick on there. So actually this is a bit too big, so let's just trim our sheet down a little bit. So you want a piece of adhesive sheet that is about the same size as your cardstock, like so. I should have checked that before I started. And we're going to peel the backing off, which leaves a, that is completely sticky. So we're going to put that on there like that. Now I'm going to run this through my Big Shot with our 2 tree dies, and I'm going to do that super quick. So I'm not going to bring the Big Shot on camera because it's going to be really quick through the Big Shot. So we've die cut our two different tree dies, and they've now got sticky on one side because when we remove the carrier sheet, they will kind of reveal. So we've got, that's the cardstock on one side, we've got the adhesive sheet on the other that has currently got a carrier paper on the top of, but we're going to remove that in a second. And we're going to cover it in glitter. It's like DIY glimmer paper. So let me just grab a piece of A4 because I'm going to end up with glitter all over my desk. I keep notes. I keep notes on my, just above my desk. So I've pulled one of those pieces of paper up. So let's remove, do the single tree first. So I'm going to pull the backing off of the tree, just like so. Right, and that's now really sticky. And it's sticking to everything. Yeah, see? Told you. I'm going to open my pot of glitter and try not to get it all over. So, just like that, we've now got a sparkly tree. It's super simple. I love it. I love a simple but effective technique. So do the same with the other one. If we can find a gap to get the paper off. Ah, there we go. Just glitter all over. And there. Now then, before I move on any further, because I will get glitter all over, I'm going to pour all the glitter back into here. See? Told you I'd got glitter all over. Just sprayed glitter all over myself. So, while the glitter is stuck there, it will come off a little bit. So I'm just going to take my bone folder and I'm going to just rub that over the glitter just to make sure it's kind of fully stuck. And I understand that you're not going to get the greatest view of that, but now you can see they are sparkly. How cool is that? I love that technique. Ooh. Oh, I really have. I've got glitter everywhere. So, now then, just a quick bit of stamping. We need a couple of leaves. So I'm going to grab my Emerald Envy ink pad, and I'm going to stamp 2 sets, oh no, 3 sets I think, of the leaves on Emerald Envy cardstock. So we're doing tone on tone stamping again. So we've got green ink on green cardstock. So it looks really pretty, but isn't the greatest thing for being on camera. And I'm going to die cut those out as well. Once again, not going to grab my Big Shot. Oh. I will do one trick though, because it's a little die. I always have my magnetic platform on my Big Shot and it moves around. So I'm going to put a piece of washi tape over to stop it from moving anywhere. And we're going to run that through. Just like that. I'm going to do one more, I think. Just one more. I've stamped 3 times, but I think I'm actually going to die cut 2. So while I'm die cutting these, as I mentioned at the beginning, if you want to get your hands on the cardstock pieces for these cards that I've made today, so you can reproduce these cards in your own home, all you need to do is shop in my online store and use the host code, which is in the description of this video. So let's just adhere these things together. So what we're going to do, actually before we do that, let's put this piece of ribbon on. So I've got another piece of that double stitched ribbon, and I'm going to just chop just wider than my piece of Whisper White. And let's do our, I've not made this card for quite some time, I will openly admit. So I'm going to just pop some fast fuse on either side and lay my ribbon out. This is the way I do all of my, when I add ribbon to cards, tends to be how I do it. So that if I add it like that with fast fuse, look at it, check it, and then, so that I know that the ribbon isn't going anywhere, I grab some sellotape and I stick it down with sellotape as well, because I want to make sure that ribbon isn't going to fall off. So, there. We're going to just add some fast fuse onto the back of that sheet of Whisper White and layer it onto our piece of designer series paper. And it's a totally different angle from the one I'm used to filming. I've been filming all morning, like I said, but with a totally different angle from the one that I'm at now. So more fast fuse on the back of our designer series paper. There we go. And then we're going to adhere the trees on with fast fuse as well, and they're going to tuck these underneath that ribbon. I just want to check for placement with that circle, because that's going to go over the top. Oh dear, sticky fingers. There, like so. I'm going to grab some dimensionals for the back of that circle. Just there. Isn't that pretty? I love that. That's really pretty. And I'm going to use glue dots to attach my leaves. So there we go. Two, and the same here, and glue dots are pressure kind of pressure adhesive, so the harder you push the more sticky they are, which I think is quite magic. So there and there. So the final thing to finish this card off is a ribbon, is a bow even, from the stitched ribbon. And I am not good at tying bows, particularly if you've watched my YouTube channel, you'll know that I am bow challenged. I'm not too bad when there is a bow that's not attached to anything. So, there we are. And the way I do it, I make a loop, and this is purely just my method. I make a loop, I go around, I then tuck this bit in where my finger has been and pull. And that creates my cute little bow. Just like that. Chop that off as well and grab another glue dot because it's the greatest way to stick bows on. And I'm going to pop that bow just there. And that is our third and final card. So these are all the cards that we have made today. I don't think that has taken a massive amount of time. Like I said, if you want to make these cards yourself, all you need to do is shop with me during December using this code. Let me just pull that off the wall as well. Using this code here. It is available in the link above, or if you're on Facebook, or below if you're on YouTube. And thank you ever so much for joining me. Don't forget to check out that online end of year sale. If you want a catalogue, just let me know. Drop me either a message here on Facebook or an email at StampinByHannah@outlook.com. Or there is a request a catalogue button over on my blog, which is StampinByHannah.co.uk. Thank you ever so much for joining me here on Facebook, and I hope to see you again here in January. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.